G'day lads and ladesses. With the new Queen and Crone DLC just coming out, I decided it would be a good idea to showcase my third favourite Warhammer fantasy character, Alith Anar. Also, people have started to threaten to kill me in League of Legends again, so I thought I'd take another 6-month break. If you're a subscriber, you'll already know that Cetra is my number 1 senpai. First one to guess in the comments below who is my number 2 gets a prize. Watch till the end of this video to find out what that prize is. Now, Alith Anar may have been voiced by Dylan Sprouse, but he is far from a privileged American white kid who looks like he's really ready to blast up the nearest school. Actually, I have a borderline gay crush on Dylan, so I take that back. Anyway, in this video I will cover the entirety of Alith Anar's lore, including his origins and what he got up to during the good old end times. Spoiler alert, he goes fucking balls to the walls and it's pretty dope, so stay tuned for that. Remember guys, my 10,000 subscriber graphics card giveaway is still active and going, so make sure you check out that video as well to see how to win. Also, I post borderline hentai on my Patreon, which gets commissioned with the help of you guys to send me, so send me dollary dues and you'll get access to all the naughtiness, while also helping Majorkill pump out more of these shitty ass videos. Let's get into it. Alith Anar was born before the massive Elven Civil War that divided the Dark Elves from the High Elves, aka the Apartheid, and also fucked Nagash in the ass due to the sundering caused by Malekith trying to out-meme the High Elves by destroying the world. Nice one, Malekith. However, the uprising by Malekith was almost stopped as soon as it started, as despite most of Nagash instantly joining his rebellion due to being tainted by Morathi's perverted cults, some of the great houses, led by Alith's father, Ithor, what is with elves and these bullshit name pronunciations? It's pissing me off. This is like take 10. Eothoril, we're sticking with that, gathered their forces and faced off with Malekith's army. Malekith was absent from the battle due to being turned into a crispy bacon kebab when he walked into the flames of Asurian, so his army was led by some random ass elf riding a big ass nigger dragon. Despite being outnumbered 3-1, Elorith was a master tactician and used superior positioning and strategy to turn the battlefield into a meat grinder as the Dark Elves began to fall. The battle was looking pretty good for the elves who weren't premature rapists, but then the chief rapist Dark Elf Lord rode his dragon over the battle line and fucked Ithoril in the ass, you know, with a bit of flame and a bit of biting, and it routed the High Elf army, with Alith barely escaping with his life. When Alith and the survivors returned to their homes, all the women, elderly and children had either been killed or enslaved. From that moment on, all the survivors of Nagash have pledged allegiance to Alith, and he was coronated as the Shadow King. Hence, began the biggest jihad against the Dark Elves there has ever been. During the initial civil war for control of Ulthuan, the Shadow King and his newly created Shadow Warriors waged guerrilla warfare against Malekith's forces, as they vowed never to rest until his crispy ass was crucified. They cut off supply lines, assassinated generals, and they're just general pains in the ass for Dark Elf forces. When the Dark Elves fled west to Nagorond, many of them chose to stay in Ulthuan as spies, or just because, you know, leaving a beautiful fertile land to go to a shit cold one was just not that appealing. Regardless of their reasoning, Alith began hunting them all down one by one. Now, back in those days, this was considered as perfect justice and vengeance against the people who destroyed your homeland. But in 2018, this would probably be considered ethnic cleansing and would be all over Reddit. Some notable fuckery that Alith and his merry men have done includes dirty dancing with Morathi and then stealing her Stone of Midnight, which makes them kind of invisible, tricking witch elves into drinking poison, crucified 700 Dark Elves on a cliff, which lots of people can visibly see, helped win the second battle of the Illyrian Plains by flanking and destroying dozens of Dark Elf Reaper bolt throwers. Oh yeah, and did I mention that his moonbow was given to him by the goddess Lilith herself? Now that's fucking hardcore. Now, despite all the things that Alith and his boy band did for Ulthuan, the High Elves were still super racist and did not welcome the Dark Elf Shadow Warriors with open arms. However, all of them knew that without them, there was about a 27% higher chance that they would eventually be getting spit roasted by 2 gender-confused witch elves. Alith was so secretive that eventually people became unsure if he was still alive. Even his shadow hunters and future generation did not know for certain. There were brief sightings of him, massacring dozens of Dark Elves, but his status as a legend made other elves believe that he had become an aspect of pure vengeance, a spirit of death and molest. This was untrue, as Alith was alive and well, and was just roaming around and killing anyone that looked ethnic, or was unfortunate enough to also be named Malekith. He re-emerged and continued to rule Nagash during the end times. You know, that thing that people were super happy about. Anyways, When Malekith went balls to the hammer to the walls and launched his final invasion of Ulthuan to challenge Tyrion, who by this point had taken the Sword of Cain for himself, Alith got a little bit concerned over the current situation and initially just started taking refugees whose homes had been ruined. However, as each side tried to march through his lands without consent, he began killing whatever side was pissing him off at the time, despite initially being loyal to Tyrion and fucking up a ton of Dark Elves, including Corin Darkhand. Yes, that's right, the mighty invincible captain of the Blackguard almost got insta-killed, he got insta-killed by Alith in a one-on-one duel, and Alith didn't even use his god bow at all. Talk about badass. Eventually, Tyrion had gone too far. Cain was now controlling him and Malekith was suddenly the good guy, so Alith had a predicament. Kill Tyrion and save the elves, or kill Malekith and doom the elf race, but at least he gets his revenge. Alith, being a great problem solver, decided to shoot them both. His first arrow piercing Tyrion in the heart and killing him, and his second arrow puncturing Malekith's lung, non-fatally. He then told Malekith that if he was a shit cunt ruler of the elves, then the next arrow would kill his ass. Here's the best part though, as the arrow he shot into Malekith was a special Nagash arrow, which spreads thorns into the arrow wound, so Malekith was in a shitload of pain, but Alith had saved the elves. He did not take part of the final battle of Middenheim, but instead commanded the remaining elves in the defense of Athel Loren, killing dozens of powerful demons and hundreds and thousands of little ones. He was last seen rallying the elves and retreating deeper into the forest of Athel Loren. Like everyone else, he was consumed by the world's end, and his soul has not yet been recovered in Age of Sigmar, or at least we don't know yet. I'm very keen to see him return, as like I said, he's my third favourite character. This brings me to the little game I had at the start of the video. If you guessed correctly my second favourite character, I'll give you, drumroll, my love and affection. Oh, you probably thought you were going to get the Queen and Crone DLC. How about this? To make it up for you, I'll send you Alith Anar DLC instead. As always guys, cheers for watching my trash ass video. Sorry this one was a bit late. I wanted to release it last night, but I had a drinking night with the boys and then started watching excessive amounts of hentai. Just joking. Or am I? Subscribe for more hentai. Peace.